Animal Crossing is home to nearly 400 unique villagers. Their designs are highly debated within the Nintendo community over who is the best and who is the worst. Cough cough. In this video, I will give you all the answers to all the questions you have. Who is the most loved? Who is the most hated of every single species in the game? Who is the most loved dog? The most hated cat? You're gonna find out. The results shown on this video are from AnimalCrossingPortal.com, who polled thousands of Animal Crossing fans on their opinions on every single villager. So these are not my opinions, but instead is the opinions of thousands of Animal Crossing fans combined together. We're going to go alphabetical, because that's what you just gotta do. I'll be dividing this into two parts. Okay. Let's go. The most hated and most loved villager of every species in Animal Crossing, starting with alligators. The most loved alligator is the gator with all the love all over her. It's Gale. She's at number 81 for the all-time most loved villagers, and a normal girl just looking to spread a lot of love around whatever island she lives on. As for the most hated alligator, can you guess who the most hated one is? Well, all you have to do is drop the gator, and there she is. That's right, it's the blue snooty gator, Allie. I'm a little surprised Allie is this low, being in the bottom 100 villagers of all time, because she's personally my favorite alligator villager. Crazy how these things work. The next species is one of the most hated in the entire game based on the fans' reaction, but who will be on top? Well, I can say for anteaters, the most loved anteater is Antonio. Good for him, but being the shiny star of the anteaters isn't so great when, on the other side, the sixth most hated villager of all time is Snooty, the snooty villager. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Bears are great. Who doesn't love a great bear? Like the most loved bear, just barely in the top 100, is Teddy. This feels right, a bear named Teddy being this loved. Teddy is also my personal favorite choice to represent the bears. As for who does not represent bear love, at last place we have Charlize, the fourth most hated villager out of all 397 of them. But as you know, the bear cubs are way more beloved than the actual bears themselves. We'll talk about them very soon. Chirp chirp? Did anyone hear that? It's the birds. Despite being awesome animals in real life, there is not a single bird in the top 100 most loved Animal Crossing villagers. Dang, but there is still a lot of love for the number one bird, Jaquise. Jaquise. Good for him for saving the birds. The other day, I saw someone killing two birds with one stone, but on accident, he threw two stones at one bird, and that bird was Peck, the most hated Animal Crossing bird. Poor guy. Don't be angry, bulls. Be happy, especially you, Rodeo, since you're the most beloved bull. But on the other hand, T-Bone can be really upset because he's the most hated bull, which to me makes no sense because he's my personal favorite, but I'm just one person in the sea of a million Animal Crossing fans, so what do I know? The most popular and famous Animal Crossing species is by far and away the cats. The cats have a certain charm and power to them. Nearly 10 of them are in the top 50 most loved villagers of all species. The most loved is Raymond, of course, who is the number 2 most loved villager in the entire game. As for the most hated kitty, well, it's Kitty, the snooty villager. Bok bok, it's the chicken man, and you want to know who the most loved chicken is, man? Well, it's Egbert, man. Looking like a chicken fearing for his little chickie life, like death is flashing right in front of his eyes. Why, who wouldn't love this innocent little chicken? As for the chicken that the Animal Crossing community is having... As for the chicken that the Animal Crossing community is not having for dinner, it's Brofina, who is the most hated Animal Crossing chicken. We talked about chickens, so let's now talk about the super famous cattle animal. It's the cow. Move over, everyone. It's the number 1 cow in the game, Patty. How can you not like Patty? Universal love is with Patty. She's like a hamburger patty. Who doesn't love a hamburger patty? But the next cow is utterly hated. That being Naomi, who is also my pick for the best cow. Looks like me and the Animal Crossing community are disagreeing a lot. I promised we'd eventually get here, and well, here we are. The cubs, the cuter, universally loved baby versions of the bears. The queen of the bears is Judy, and she is the star of the cubs. Honey, you're amazing. But on the other hand, you guys can't bear to live another day looking at Cody. Yeah, same here. A personal favorite for me, A personal favorite and a fan base favorite, we're looking at the deer. Amazing at everything they do, every single member of the deer is in the top half of the charts, with most of them being around the top 50. Good taste, Animal Crossing community. But oh dear, only one can be on top, and that title goes to Bo. Very deserving, he's an amazing design. But as for the most hated, it's sadly Bruce. Sorry dude. Dogs are a man's best friend, and in Animal Crossing, the dog is man's bestest friend. It's Lucky, the gothic bandage-wrapped doggy. Well, I hope you guys have a long-lasting best friendship doing whatever you like Pilates or bandage wrapping. Dogs are a man's best friend, like I said, but this dog may be a man's worst enemy, as Mac is the most hated dog. Were you curious about ducks? Well, I'll settle the score for you. The most loved duck is Molly, which makes sense, cause who doesn't love Molly? Duck, duck, duck. Oops, you're the most hated duck villager, Miranda. So sorry. Soaring higher than ever before, the most loved eagle is Apollo. But if you look over there in the sky, in the way back, is Frank, who is frankly not that liked by the Animal Crossing community. It's time to address the elephant in the room. The most loved elephant is just my cup of tea. It's Tia. As for the elephant who didn't leave a mark, it's our first lazy villager to be hated in this video, Mr. Paulo. Frog. Ribbit ribbit. It's the freshest frog on the lily. It's Lily. The cute and big-eyed frog is perfect for any island. As for the worst, it pains me to say this, Gigi, you are the fan base's least favorite dog. Frog. Goat. If you're tired of looking at cows and bulls, look no further than the goats. I think we all know who the shining star is of the goat species. It's Sherb, who's rocking the lazy charm we all know and love him for. On the other hand, Velma is the most hated goat. Poor girl. Being one of the least liked species, I think the gorillas are one of the most underrated, personally, with Hans being the one that the community likes the most, despite not even being in the top 200. But on the flip side, Caesar is the most hated villager of all of the gorillas, and guess what? He is the number 2 most hated villager in the entire game, ranking at number 396 out of 397 villagers. The hamster species was a tough competition, as Apple, Flurry, and Hamlet all came close, but no other than Clay edged out the competition this time around, while Soleil will be stuck on the hamster wheel for the rest of her life, since no one is deciding to have her on her island. And there you go, this is the first part of the most loved and most hated Animal Crossing species. If the video is out now, you can click the link right in front of you to watch part 2, but if not, make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified when the next video comes out. For now, you can keep watching my Animal Crossing videos by clicking the link in front of you. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.